Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Now trackies, as the weeks pass, we are seeing more and more of our star athletes take to the track. And this weekend will be no different, where we see quite a few notable standout performers for Jamaica take to the track. And of course, we are excited to see the performances that they will lay down. Now, trackies, this weekend we will have locally here in Jamaica the Camperdown Classic. And at the Camperdown Classic, as I said, quite a few notable stars will come out. We're talking about world champion Antonio Watson. We're talking about national record holder as well in the 400-meter hurdles, Roshawn Clark. Trackies, we're talking about sprint sensation, Oblique Seville. And of course, we're talking about the youth rising star, Kerrica Hill. She also lines up here. And not to mention, trackies, the first man to run sub 10 at our champs here in Jamaica, the ISA Boys and Girls National Championships, trackies. Is that what it's called? I think so, right? That young man, Bouwahjgie and Kumi, also takes to the track this weekend. So, trackies, a lot of spice is going on. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly share my screen and we're going to get through these events or the lineups with these clashes that will be coming up on the weekend. And as I said, I'm very, very excited to see these athletes step out. And another thing as well, because I've been doing, you guys know that we've been talking about the strengths slash weaknesses of these athletes. And I think most notably recently I spoke about Oblique Seville and Glenn Mills, noticing having, he's a top coach, so he himself should notice that these athletes need the longer distances. And in my opinion, based on information that I'm hearing, this is happening in training. And what do we have here? All of these star athletes come out in what? The 400 meters. Yes, I did not stutter. They come out in the 400 meters. You guys have been calling. You guys have been asking. Well, here what? They have answered. They're coming out in the 400 meters, trackies. And as I said, based on the information that I've been hearing, training is going good with these athletes. No, interestingly though, trackies, interesting. We're going to start with the women. And the reason I'm starting here is because Kerrica Hill starts with the women's 400 meters as well. Yes, I did not stutter. This is a 100 slash 110 meter phenom. I mean, not 110, sorry, 100 meter hurdles phenom, right? And she's here stepping out in the 400 meters. Very, very, very interesting. Clearly, they're working on strengthening Kerrica. I kind of liken Kerrica when I look at her body type and body structure to that of a Brianna Liston. You know what I mean? Very slim, sleek, and clearly, they need to strengthen themselves pretty much. So, track is my expectation now when it comes to Kerrica and this 400 meters. As I said, I find it very interesting that she's starting with the 400 meters because, one, I do see Rashid Broadbell heading overseas. He's going to take on the 60 clearly to work on some, early speed, right? And it's interesting to see Kerrica Hill starting here in the 400, which makes me think that, something is up here in terms of the potential events that she may take part in this season. I'm wondering if not only may we see her try her hand at the 100 meter hurdles, but clearly the 100 meters as well. And could we potentially see her try for the two? Not sure, not sure, but I'm just wondering, based on seeing her come out here in this 400 meters. Typically, I don't see, athletes that focus on the shortest of the sprints run a 4. I would expect to see her maybe run a 2 to build strength, you know what I mean, but not 4. So it kind of is, throwing me for a loop a little bit, and I'm wondering, the plan here for Kerrica Hill. But you know what? She's a junior phenom as well. So I'm looking out to see how her season progresses, and I'm excited to see her step to the track. Am I expecting any crazy times? No, I'm not. You know what I mean? I am not expecting any crazy times. As a matter of fact, it seems as though Kerrica Kerrica Hill has never run the 400 meters. So with that said, trackies, and this field isn't the strongest 400-meter field as well. These athletes clearly, run other events and, will be using this again to build strength. So it's just going to be one of those races. Don't look for anything too crazy or too phenomenal. Just hoping that the athletes finish the race, healthy. Now, moving on from this racetrack and I'm going to get into the men's 400 meters. There are quite a few heats for the men's 400 meters, right? And we're going to start with, we're going to build anticipation. Let's just say that. So let's start with heat number 2, trackies. In this one, we see, as you're scrolling down, you see, we start with Tyreek Howell, but as we're scrolling down, we see Bouwahjgie Kerrica right here. Also, track is another athlete that has apparently never run the 400 meters. So same way, piggybacking off my thought process when it comes to Kerrica Hill, I'm wondering if we're gonna see Bouwahjgie Kerrica. No, he is known for his 1 and 2, right? But I've noticed in recent years, and I don't know why, it's been a thing with athletes from, athletes from Jamaica in general, but especially the Racers Track Club. I don't really see them dibble dabbling too much in the 200 meters. So I was concerned, a little bit if Bouwahjgie would have, kind of, held back on the 2 a bit, focused on the 1 for a few years, and then, gradually got back in the 2. But it seems that's not the case here with Bouwahjgie and Kerrica. It seems, based on these early indications, based on this first run, right? This could be nothing at the end of the day, and he's still only going to be focused solely on the 100. I hope not, because again, for me personally, to be a solid 100-meter sprinter, you need that 200-meter strength. So I'm hoping that these athletes are taking part in both events this season. So it's good to see Bouwahjgie again come out in this race. I'm not expecting anything phenomenal. You know what I mean? Again, for these most of these athletes I'm looking at here don't seem to specialize in the 400 meters as well, based on the times, right, that they've run. I see these times are definitely not 400-meter times for men, right? So clearly these are sprinters running the 400 meters. So let's see, what the times they drop. I'm not expecting anything spectacular again, just for these athletes to finish the race healthy, as I said before, and clock a good enough personal best in the 400 meters. Let's just say that. Let's move on over now to the third this is where things start to spice up even more, because as you can clearly see right on the list here, you see Zharnel Hughes and you see Oblique Seville. Now, check this for me is a big race. Now, this is clearly where you're going to see guys that have clocked faster and faster times over the 400 meters as we get closer, to the last heat that I'll be looking at. So definitely, I'm clearly focused right in the center of the track, looking at Zharnel Hughes, looking at Oblique Seville. Now, Zharnel had a really big breakout year last year. He kind of I think faltered a bit, I would say, in that 200 meters. I won't lie. I was expecting a better performance from him in the 2 at the World Championships. It didn't happen, but he still walked away with a medal at the World Championships in the 1. So of course he's, on a high right now, as rightly deserved, trackies, and clearly as well he's working on maintaining, because he's a 1-2 man, as you all know. So clearly this is a good step for him. He has run the 400 meters before. So I'm looking, and based on the field, based on the personal best that I've seen, he's the fastest in the field here, based on personal best. I'm definitely looking out to see him, challenge the pace here. But there's also Oblique Seville. Now, a lot of you guys have been calling for Oblique Seville to run these longer distance. Oblique Seville needs the strength. Oblique Seville falls apart towards the end of the race, right? Oblique Seville needs to run the 200 meters. Well, guess what? It seems our questions, have been answered. It seems as though Oblique Seville will be coming out this season, not only potentially taking part, well, not potentially, not only taking part in the 1, but potentially taking part in the 2 as well. And that is clearly what we all want to see, because for an athlete with his type of speed, with no 200-meter strength, it's amazing that he's as fast as he is. Just imagine when you smush him with the 200 meters, what you're going to get. And I've been talking about the buzz that's going on right now at the Racers Track Club, with Antonio Watson walking away with that 400-meter gold. And I would say an injection, of intense training as far as I'm concerned, and focus from these younger guys, letting and they want to also stand on the top, right? And they're doing whatever it takes to get there. And it looks like, Oblique Seville has joined the ranks. He looks like he's ready, to take on that 1-2 double. I hope, right? So let's see. But for now, they start with the four in this race. I'm hoping that he'll be able to stick with the pace. He's just, based on personal best, you'd say a second behind Zharnel Hughes. So I definitely expect him and Zharnel Hughes to be, front of the pack in this 400 meters. And I'm hoping that they go out there, both of them actually go out there and challenge their 400-meter personal best. It's still early season. You know what I mean? This is still considered quote unquote indoor. So based on the vibe I'm getting right now, I expect to see more and more 400s from these athletes actually, because typically we see these 400 meters when the outdoor season starts, right? They'll may start run a four here and there, you know what I mean? But for us to be seeing it this early and we're still in indoors, clearly we'll probably getting more 400 meters from these athletes, which is again a good thing, right? But let's see how that race goes. I'm definitely excited to see how Oblique Seville handles himself over the four distance. Now, moving on over trackies to the spiciest of all of the race right here, as you can see on the screen. This is gonna be a big, big race, trackies. Why? Because we have Malik James King in this race, phenomenal young athlete coming up as well. We have the world champion Antonio Watson with a personal best 44.13. The man that I saw earlier this season bouncing in training. I say, look here, I feel like if Antonio Watson take to that day 100 meters, he could do ridiculous things there. He steps out here. And also trackies, we have Roshawn Clark, 400-meter hurdle phenom trackies. He steps here, and look here, don't let that 45.24 fool you. Based on the time of the year he did that trackies and the time he got to down to eventually in the 400-meter hurdles, you can know that he was definitely a sub 45 man in the 400 meters. Trackies, this race also has the like of Jeremy Bembridge, right? So as a matter of fact, most of these guys are 45 guys in this race. So this is going to be a pretty interesting race. For me, I definitely have this race being between the three guys I mentioned first: Malik James King, Antonio Watson, and Roshawn Clark. Personally, these athletes at this particular time of the year for me are loaded. So am I expecting, personal best runs? No, that's definitely not my expectation at this particular time. When I can say a personal best run for a sprinter, because they don't typically run it. So when they do run it, they may run a faster opening four, right? I'm not expecting that for actual 400-meter specialists. I'm not expecting them to come out in 400-meter personal best shape, but I do expect this to be a really, really good clash. I'm really interested to see if Roshawn Clark can live with whatever pace Antonio Watson will be setting. I do have him, in this race, walking away with the win, right? I do have Roshawn Clark being right there, and I also have Malik James King being right there as well. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. A really, really solid race from these three guys. I'm expecting. I'm not expecting, as I said, any personal best run. Just a good run, good work, just a good run out, shake out, or whatever you'd call it, right? For the first run of the season, and yeah, just to see how they challenge themselves, in this particular race. Track is, and of course, most importantly, come out injury free. We're looking for amazing things from all these athletes this season. We saw Malik on the 4x4. He did get kind of swallowed in that race. He looked so tiny. I can't believe he looked so tiny, right? For Antonio Watson, he's looking up for bigger and better things this season as well. Looking to go into the 43s. I'm hearing mid to low 43s. I'm hearing some people say. I'm definitely excited. And of course, Rashawn Clark looking to keep strengthening himself, because track is last season, he clearly had the speed. He clearly had it in him to perform well, but the body wasn't strong enough. Clearly, he's still very, very young, so not able to really handle, running so fast with so many races. You know what I mean? So hopefully, the body is getting stronger and he'll be able to manage his season much better this year. And also, potentially challenge for a medal at the World Championships. Well, not World Championships. Why do I keep saying World Championships? At the Olympics in Paris this year. But anyway, trackies, you all now sound off in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. So some of these big guns come out. They're running the four, not their pet event, but still we are excited to see them come out, see where they are in their training, and of course, head back in for more training to come out the next time. All right, track is sound off. As I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I don't know what to do with my hands anymore. Bye.